Moving on from the second question of LSAT PrepTest 141's third section, the second reading comprehension section, we see question 3. And to be perfectly honest, with question 3 here, you probably would skip it on the first pass of evaluation through the answer choices because it's going to require us to reread for the specific hypothesis about CJD being caused by prions. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to find where that was stated, and I probably should highlight my question task first, of course, to illustrate good and model good behavior. But it says if the hypothesis that CJD is caused by prions is correct. So CJD is caused by prions is correct. Finding the answer to which one of the following questions would tend most to help a physician in deciding whether a patient has CJD. So this is ultimately logical reasoning and reading comprehension. We're being asked to find an answer choice that would help evaluate that decision of the physician. So we already know that the CJD, the prions, right, they're coming from within the body. They're not contagious. They're not a virus. They're not bacteria. They're not fungus. They're not parasites, as we saw up here with the full list. And we know that they basically create this chain reaction, making the other prions transform into bad prions. And I know that's not the technical term, but it gets us where we need to go. And then there's more details here about CJD and how it attacks, it destroys nerve cells and things of that nature. But we don't really want to get into those details unless absolutely necessary. So we just know that we've got to be focused on this idea of like a bad mutated protein within the body. So has the patient suffered a severe blow to the skull recently? I mean, I can't even help but chuckle at that. That is certainly not going to help us determine whether the patient has CJD. We'd need a whole lot of additional information to relate CJD to blunt force trauma. Then choice B, does the patient experience occasional bouts of insomnia? Well, insomnia is mentioned as something that occurs here because you've got just a difference in how the body continues to work. And oh, there it is. It's up here in the chronic insomnia. But that occasional bouts is vague. And the other thing is we would need to know whether or not other possible causes could as well lead to insomnia. So we need additional information about insomnia, occasional bouts, how many that is, and how it compares to other causes for the symptoms you might see in CJD, so we can eliminate B for that reason. Then choice C, has the patient been exposed to any forms of radiation that have a known tendency to cause certain kinds of genetic damage? Okay. Any forms of radiation. How does radiation play in here? I need a whole lot of additional information here. And certain kinds of genetic damage. What are those kinds of genetic damage? We've got a couple of reasons to eliminate. We should remember from working through logical reasoning, argumentation style questions that I want to eliminate things that are vague, and there's quite a bit of ambiguity in choice C, so we should be able to eliminate it for a couple of reasons. Then choice D, has any member of the patient's immediate family ever had a brain disease? Okay, what kind of brain disease? Is it one like CJD or something else? Again, I need additional information to evaluate choice D for this physician. That's, hypothetical. And then choice E, does the patient's brain tissue exhibit the presence of any abnormal thread-like structures? Well, that's really everything, because we know that we've got these abnormal shapes, and we know that the structure of it is consisting of thread-like structures if we just go one sentence past our highlights in the third paragraph. Again, you may have to reread here, which is why in your order you might leave 3 for a little while later, but hopefully through watching this explanation video you understand how E is the correct answer for this logical reasoning in reading comprehension sample problem from PrepTest 141's third section.